So I had this in my ear, like, okay, so I'm pretty. But I had the other thing in my ear, like, but you're fat. And it's like, which one do I listen to? Boo, that's lame. Tomato, 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 tomato. I'm throwing tomatoes. Normalize telling your children that they are beautiful just the way they are. Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the reality of growing up fat. I figured this would be a pretty interesting video because, you know, first of all, everybody's, you know, upbringing and stuff like that isn't the same. But when it comes to, you know, the plus size community, I feel like it's just not talked about. I feel like it's just, I don't know. I just wanted to share this with you guys because, you know, I am what I am now, but it wasn't always this way. And I'm still, you know, working on what I'm working on. And I figured this would just be pretty entertaining and insightful to the people that can relate and to the people that can't relate. So let's get straight into it. So I have some like bullet points and stuff that I wanted to touch on. This is gonna be, honestly, this is gonna be, y'all be ready, because this is gonna be a mixture between actually pretty funny, but it's actually gonna be pretty effed up, some of the stuff, but it's probably like I'll laugh now because I'm older. But this is the truth, guys. This is what we have to go through. Well, some of the stuff. So yeah, the first thing that I want to talk about is like my upbringing. I would say that I didn't have your typical fat girl or fat person or whatever you want to call it. I would say I didn't have the typical fat girl like upbringing. I feel like I didn't have the typical, you know, gets bullied in school and, you know, eating disorders and stuff like that. Like, mine was a little different. Mine was a little different. I wouldn't say better, I wouldn't say worse, just different. If y'all hear creaking, it's my chair is a little old, she old. But as far as my upbringing, when I started off like going to school and stuff, like I'm talking like kindergarten, first grade, I was still small. Like I was, you know, I was still doing the kid stuff and whatever, stuff like that, you know. I didn't see myself any different than any other kid. But around 3rd, 4th grade, that's when I started gaining a little bit of weight and, you know, just being a little chunky monkey. Like, it was okay. Like, I was just a little chunky. That's it. So I wasn't really like tripping heavy about it because I was so cute. So I was like, whatever. Like, you know how when you're younger, guy, like y'all have to really, you know how like when y'all younger and there's just certain things that you don't think of, that you don't notice until it's brought up to you. So that's how it was for me growing up. When I was like younger and I was first starting to gain weight and be a little chunky, like I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I just put on 10 pounds, like this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't notice these things until, you know, people brought it to my attention. With that being said, the first time that I noticed I was fat, I'm not gonna tell, I don't know the exact moment and it was like a life-changing moment, no. But I do know that it honestly was either my mom or my grandma telling me like, oh, you know, like you're getting like a little big, like you need to like, you know, exercise or, you know, stop eating sweets or something like that. Something like that was said, right? And I'm like looking at myself like, I guess I am like a little chunky, I guess. Like, I guess. And I used to have this friend growing up, and she was a very petite girl. She's a very petite, very skinny, very, you know, and you know, girl, you playing around, boom, 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 like, you're not noticing. Like, I didn't notice I was the fat friend already. Like, I didn't notice, like, out of all the kids and stuff like that, like, I did not notice until it was brought to my attention. So after it was brought to my attention, I was like, oh. So I'm like, fat, like, this is whatever. So then, you know, the family takes, you know, the typical precautions, and they put me in dance class to lose weight. And I don't know why I started going to dance classes, but that, I guess maybe it wasn't helping after a certain while. Then I got into gymnastics, which I actually really liked. And, you know, I guess that wasn't helping with my weight and stuff like that. That wasn't helping with my weight. And it's just really funny because I actually came across like some pictures of like me from like one of my like gymnastics meets or something like that. And I was not fat. Like, I was not like big. I was not anything of that manner. And I just remember like in that time just like thinking I'm so big and I'm so fat, and my family's putting me in all these things to help me try to lose weight and be healthy and all this stuff. And me looking back at them pictures, and I'm just like, why would you tell a kid this? And it didn't help that my older brother, he's also very petite. Like, he has a very like small frame, and he's much older than me. And I was like, you know, the chubby one. And I'm like younger, and like you're just like, they're comparing, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that doesn't make a kid feel nice. I was like 8-9 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like where like my insecurities started to form, because it's just like, we're gonna get into it later, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I was bullied and I did it at school. Like, no, it was my family that was telling me these things. And you know, I don't mean to paint them in a picture in a bad light or whatever, but it's just what it was. And you know, stuff like that, like it sticks with you for life. So I'm just like, you know, that's where it stemmed from. So let's move on to like how school was for me. Like I said, I didn't start really like gaining weight until like 3rd, 4th grade. And the school that I was at for since 1st grade all the way up to 8th grade. So like I knew all these people knew me. It wasn't a new school, I wasn't the new kid, it wasn't anything like that. So I already had like established relationships with people, you know, see them over the summer, like, you know, knock on the door, backyard type shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So I knew these people. So I don't know, like as my weight just progressed, like nobody said anything about it. Like I'm serious. Like, I know that a lot of bigger people like myself, you know, they have these memories of these kids like bullying them and victimizing them and making them seem like the bad guy, the big loud person and stuff like that. But I did not have any bullying, and I sit back and I try to think about why that may be. Like, I question it, like not asking like, oh, I wanted to be bullied or anything like that, but it's like, you know how middle school is, and the middle school boys, like they're mean, they're so mean. And like I saw like my friends get bullied for just stuff that was like, you know, completely out of their control. And I was just like always like, I guess, overlooked. Like I don't know, like I said, I'm not complaining or anything, but it just makes me question, because it's like, you know, with my friends, like they were all normal. Like they didn't have like any like outstanding things to like be bullied on or anything like that. Like it wasn't valid. And I feel like I feel like I had the biggest target on my back. And the fact that I wasn't, it was like, wow, like, okay. Like, all right. But there definitely would be little stuff, like, if anything, when it came to like middle school and like, you know, when social media was becoming a thing and like things like that, like, if anyone was bullying me at school, it was myself. And I still struggle with this, like, to this day. Like, people can tell me I'm pretty all they want. People can tell me I'm beautiful, gorgeous, but that stuff is not gonna matter unless you believe it yourself, right? So I would just talk down on myself, like, if they were like, oh, let's do this, I'm like, me, like, like, I'm so fat, or like, I can't walk for that long, or like, and they'd be like, girl, like, you're not even this, you're not even that, and stuff like that. Like, I understand they were trying to like help my feelings, and I understand that I was putting myself down, but there's like an in between. Like, I definitely shouldn't have been talking about myself like that, you know. But it's like, don't tell me I'm not like that. Like, at that point, I was a little big, but like when I was younger, I was just a little chubby. But as I started like reaching like 12, 13, like, you know, I was a big girl. I was a thick girl, you know what I'm saying? So when they were like, oh, don't call yourself fat or stuff like that, I'm like, it's not in a negative way, it's just facts. Like, don't tell me I'm not this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't like, don't tell me, like, that's not a compliment. You telling me not to call myself fat is not a compliment. Like, I'm sorry, it's not. Like, it's just facts, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like hand in hand in that way, but I definitely was my biggest bully. I still am. Something I'm working on. Like I said, I try to stop doing that because it's like, girl, shut up. But yes, I really wasn't bullied at school, but I can say my main bullies and whatever would be like at home, and it would never be on no like, you're fat, you need to lose weight, you're like from my like family and stuff like that. Like, no, it always came from a place of love. Like, you know, I just like, they would like sit me down and be like, oh, you know, you can't eat these things, or you have to work out. Mind you, I'm like 10, 11, 12. They're like, oh, you have to lose weight and stuff like that. And, you know, I definitely feel like, you know, it's valid for, you know, it to hurt when random people call you fat and bully you and stuff like that. I'm sure it hurts. I'm sure it does. But when it's your family, like, people you've known your whole life telling you, like, you're so pretty, but you need to lose weight and all this stuff, like, at like 10, 11 years old, that hurts. That's the stuff that would make me like run in my room and like go cry about it or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hurts when it's like from the people you love, and it's like, you can't really be mad in the moment because you're like, I know you're coming from a place of love, but like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm a little thick, I'm a little big. Okay, why aren't you telling me that I should love myself? Why aren't you telling me that big women are beautiful? Why aren't you telling me that? Why aren't you just stopping the sentence after you say you're so beautiful? Why do you have to add the comma and say but? You know what I'm saying? Why are you telling a child these things? Because at the end of the day, that stuff like it sticks with you. It really does. Yeah, like, why aren't you telling me these positive things? Why are you telling me like, oh, you're so pretty, but if you lost this amount of weight, you'd be like good. Why are you telling me that? So that's really like where my insecurity started to come from. And I started like not wanting to be around the family because like I knew that they would bring it up or something like that. And that's just, it's not a good feeling to not want to be around your family because you know they're gonna bring up something negative about your appearance. You know what I'm saying? And going back to me not having the typical fat girl like upbringing was the fact that it's kind of 50-50. Like I did, in a sense, have that fat girl like upbringing because of course, you know, people made comments about my weight and I was treated differently because so. But guys, I promise you, I'm not even gonna put a disclaimer. But just people would always tell me that I was like so beautiful. You know, like like as a child, they're like, oh my gosh, she is so gorgeous. Like, so I had this in my ear, like, okay, so I'm pretty. But I had the other thing in my ear, like, but you're fat. And it's like, which one do I listen to? Like, am I pretty or am I fat? Do I just got my face card or do I got the body too? Like, I don't got the body to match, but I got the face card. Like, it was just so confusing growing up because it's like people at church, let's use the word, people at church, people at random functions. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Your hair is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is your daughter. She's so beautiful. Boom, 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 boom. And then this weight, you gonna bring that up too? Like, which one is it? So like, I can't even say that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, we all have like our ugly phase, and like I used to do my makeup like crazy, like looking like bad and stuff. Like, but like I was always portrayed as a beautiful girl, but I was big. So that's why I'm like, it's kind of like 50-50 because like nobody ever called me ugly and fat, and maybe that's why I didn't get bullied in middle school, because I was pretty. Maybe so I was just really confused. It was honestly kind of like a mental battle because like I said, it's like one hand I'm pretty, whatever, and on the other hand, like, you're fat, like, you're big, like, lose weight. So, you know, as I got a little bit older and stuff, like, you know, 14, 15, and like I'm in high school again, no really bullies. I've never gotten in any type of fights or anything like that. Like, I've seen these TikToks and they be like, oh, like, I have a really bomb personality because I used to grow up ugly and like my personality was all I had. But now that they got everything, like mine is kind of like different. Like, I feel like I have a bomb personality now because I used to grow up fat and like get overlooked a lot. And I'm not gonna put me being overlooked, I'm not gonna put all that, I'm not gonna blame all that on the weight. Due to like, you know, my insecurities and stuff like that. I do feel like I played a part in like being overlooked and not being seen as like anything more than like a friend or a buddy or anything like that, because sometimes I protrude like friend energy. I really hope you guys can relate to this. But yeah, I haven't been in a situation where maybe you're out with a group of friends and like you're the fat one, or you're the ugly one, or you're the dark-skinned one, or you're the tall one, and like you're passing a group of men, a group of boys, a group of fine whatever, and you see them all looking at your friends and, you know, they're cute and or they get approached or whatever, and you just know you're not gonna be seen. Like, you just it's not me. Like, I could assure you, like, it's not me. Like, I know they're not looking at me, right? And you're thinking that in your head, so you kind of protrude that energy, like, oh, I know it's not gonna be me, But sometimes maybe it was you, or maybe it is you. You feel me? And you like mess up your chances because you're like already thinking like, oh, they're not gonna choose me, so maybe you like get an attitude or whatever, and you make yourself unapproachable. That's my problem. That's my problem, because I see an attractive person or whatever. I see an attractive person and I'm like, oh, there's no way they'll like fuck with me because of X, Y, and Z. So I either just try to like take myself out of the equation, like kind of subtly, or I just friend zone. Like I just play like I'm not interested, but like we could be buddies. And it's like, girl, stop doing that, because you're a bad bitch. Like, stop doing that, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely have to teach myself that. I'm still learning that, but it just, you know, back in the day, like I just knew they were not looking at me. Like they weren't. Like I just know, you know, you just those things, you just know. So, you know, as a grown person, I guess you would say, some of my family still obviously comments about my weight and stuff like that, but it's just the fact that like this is who I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to change me now. Like, stuff like that doesn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing I could do about it now. You telling me there's nothing that I can do in this instant that's gonna make me lose 50 pounds. I'm sorry. Like, that's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? You putting me down, you're just hurting you and I's relationship. I just feel like loving yourself and, you know, in the family and stuff like that, like telling your loved ones to love themselves should be normalized instead of trying to change them. Because you trying to change somebody, especially like a child, like that's where it stems from. You feel me? Like that's where it stems from. If you're big now, 7 out of 10, you've grown up as a bigger child. Like you've been big your whole life. You know what I'm saying? So you've heard these things over and over and over again. You never heard like, oh yeah, you're big, but so what? Just rock it. Just love yourself no matter what size. Like they don't tell you that. And that's sad. That's really sad. Like one day when I have my children or whatever, I'm not gonna tell them they're too skinny. I'm not gonna tell them they're too tall. I'm not gonna tell them they're too big. I'm gonna say love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, how do you expect somebody else to love yourself? I mean, to love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's the Black community. I don't know if that's the Caribbean community. I don't know. But normalize telling your children that they are beautiful just the way they are. Normalize that shit. You can save so many lives. Because people like, I'm telling you, like when it's from the people that you love, it just hits different. Like, why are you telling me this? Why aren't you telling me that you love me just the way I am? At 10, at 12, at 13, at 16, at 18, at 21, it doesn't matter. Why aren't you telling me that you love me just the way I am? Why are you telling me to change myself? As I'm growing up and, you know, I'm loving my body, well, at least I'm trying to. I'm trying to love my body, and I'm trying to break the stigma of big women and like all the negative whatever and all the like fetishization of big women. Unpopular opinion, if you're on TikTok or you're on Instagram or you're on any of these things, like fetishizing, I can never say that, fetishizing big women and BBWs and oh, they got the WAP and you know they could cook and all this stuff. Boo, that's lame. Tomato. I'm throwing tomatoes. Like, that's so lame. Like, ew. Like, don't be fetishizing us. Like, you think that's attractive that you're like, oh, I love all the big BBWs and they go cook me good food and I can play with their rolls and da-da-da-da-da. Like, give me the plate. Give me the plate. Cause Like you thought you ate. Like that's not it, babes. Just take a different approach, babes. Take a different approach. Cause that no. Don't do that. But yeah, y'all. I'm still trying to just, love myself the way I am, and I'm just trying to love all my flaws, because I got a lot of flaws, guys. Everybody has insecurities. Like, comment down below if you guys can relate to anything that I've said so far. I wanna see, because if you can't relate in the topic of weight, what's like your biggest flaw that people talked about you about? You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be anything. Like, just share your stories, because growing up in this society as black women, as big black women, as dark-skinned black women, as light-skinned black women, as whatever, it's tough. And people be having these high standards of beauty that's like ridiculous. Beauty comes in all shapes, all sizes. Okay, let's talk about it. They come in all shapes and sizes. So calling it plus size when the model has a big booty and a flat stomach and big titties and maybe like a little thick thigh or whatever, that's not plus size, babes. That's what y'all want it to look like. But not a lot of plus size people are shaped like that, sorry to say. Get somebody with some back rolls. Get somebody with a little gut. Shit, I could do it. like come on, like be realistic. Like that could be a whole nother video, y'all. I could talk about being a part of the plus size community in today's society, like again, but the tomatoes. I want to speak up and speak out for the plus size community, because it should feel like a sisterhood. Like, we be looked down upon in society, and I just feel like that's crazy, because there's so many beautiful women. Like, you're looking at one right now on the screen, plus size. Okay, there's so many beautiful women of all shapes and sizes, and I feel like everybody should be advocated for. Growing up, I didn't see, growing up, I did not see a lot of people that looked like me. I didn't. The only, I feel like maybe, but the only person I can think about is Jill Scott in that movie where she threw the glass over the bald headed man's face because he was cheating on her because she was fat and da-da-da-da. That's the only, and she was such a sad character until the very end. Like, damn, let me, like, come on, like, can I get some representation from my beautiful big black women? Like, where is y'all at in the movies, in the shows, in the series? Like, where is y'all at? Like, I did not see that growing up. And then you got my family telling me, like, girl, you is big. And I'm like, damn, for real? I ain't even have no references, for real. I didn't have any references. Like, I'm really trying to think of one. Like, Disney Channel, there was no, like, overweight people. Disney Channel being the main character. Y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta do better with representation. Black people in general, but plus size women, plus size black women, I don't see enough. I think I need to see more. There needs to be more, and I'm willing to do it my damn self, period. But yeah, y'all, that was my video of the reality of growing up fat. Not everybody's experiences are going to be the same, but if you can relate, like I said, just comment down below. You know, drop a couple story times of when maybe you were bullied, maybe your family told you some BS that wasn't true, that you had to overcome yourself, down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you're notified every time that I post. Cause baby, we're coming. Like, y'all see these videos I've been dropping, like boom boom boom, like. And can we get into the skin? Don't make me link it. Don't make me link it right there, because I will. Watch my videos, y'all. Watch them. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna see y'all in my next one. Bye, babies.